Join me today as we plant up 2 containers with some beautiful fresh color for spring interest, and we do a quick tour of the garden to look at our tulip, hyacinth, and daffodil blooms. Hey guys, welcome back to Horticulture Geek. I'm Ray, and thank you so much for joining me today here on the channel. Today I have a super quick project, but it's one that I wanted to work on and bring you guys along for, and that is our first spring planters for the season. So I have got my 2 planters that go on either side of my front door, and the stuff I put in them for the winter was killed by that hard frost that most of the country had this past winter. So these 2 pots were sitting at the front door and they were completely empty, and I needed to get something in them. So I cleaned out all the old stuff, and I already have them prepped and filled up with fresh amended potting soil. Now, just as a reminder, if you're new to the channel, we are using a container soil, a good potting soil that is specifically made for container gardening. You don't want to use garden soil or fill dirt for this. You want to use a nice container potting soil. So I have that in here and ready to go. So I swung by my local garden center, and now this time of year, selection is very limited at your local garden center because winter is really not over yet. We're really not into official spring time yet. So there's just not a lot of stuff that is going to be able to thrive and survive right now. My local garden center got in some fresh things that are able to take the lower temperatures. And so one of them is a Carax. Look at that beautiful lemony, yellowy green Carax grass. And this is an Evercolor Everilo. Give you that tag right there. So I'm going to be using that in this container. And then I also picked up some Dusty Miller. So this is silver dust. Wonderful accent foliage plant. And the silver and the goldeny greeny yellow look really good together. And then I picked up some pansies. And these don't have a big blooms on them right now, but this is a bluish pansy, a light purple blue pansy. And so I thought that would look really good with this as well. And so that's it. We're keeping this super simple. And so what I'm going to be doing in my container is I'm going to be putting a Carax grass, 3 Dusty Miller, and 3 pansies. And when it's all said and done, I happen to have one right here ready to go. This is what it looks like. So this is a super simple process. Since I've already got the container ready to go, this shouldn't take long. So let me adjust the camera, set it up, and we'll let you watch me get these plants in the ground. Here we go. All right, so here are the 2 finished containers. Again, super quick process, but just bringing some much needed color into the winter garden. So if you are like me and you have some containers that are empty or maybe something died out of them over this hard winter. If you're ready to start putting some fresh life and color into your containers, your garden centers, your local garden centers should start getting shipments of fresh stuff in right now. Now, keep in mind that this is just a temporary solution for these pots. These pansies are cool weather annuals, and the Dusty Millers are semi-cool weather annuals. So they should be good in this pot for another month and a half here for me in Central Arkansas Zone 7B. But as soon as we start getting any heat here in Central Arkansas, these will start languishing, and then it'll be time for me to put in fresh, actual warm season spring or summer plants into these containers. But these set at my front door, they're very prominent, and they just looked a hot mess sitting there empty with nothing in them. So I went and did this. So hopefully, if you're in the same boat, this will give you the inspiration you need to get out and find something pretty to go into your pots to get you through the remainder of these cold weeks here. Now, I know this is a short video, and I'm trying to keep it short, but I thought I would also kind of give you a little bit of a tulip update in this video. So I'm going to grab the camera and flip it around and show you some of our tulip and hyacinth bulbs that are coming up. Nothing's blooming really good yet. I have a few bloomers, but everything's coming out of the ground and looking really good. So here we go. Okay, we're going to start right here in the back. And you can see this big purple container has tulips coming up. Nothing blooming yet, but I've got some good growth on there, looking good. And then down here, these are all the pots that we planted up with tulip bulbs. This one has some growth coming up in it, so I'm excited about it. Nothing in these others yet, but these were the last ones I planted. This one had been planted for a while, so this is the last one I planted. So I expect to see some growth out of the rest of these shortly. Now then, let's walk over here. So this is a container we planted up a while back, and it has hyacinth bulbs in it. So you can see that the hyacinths are definitely coming up, looking really good. There's another fresh one coming up right there. And if you look right in there, you can see the flower head coming on that hyacinth. So it won't be very long, and there's a flower head, and there's a flower head. We will have lots of beautiful color coming out of this urn. And then we've got this urn down here. And we've already got some color starting to form out of this urn of hyacinths. Now this has hyacinths and tulips. And look at that, we've already got some beautiful hyacinth color popping out here. So that won't be too long, and it'll be a nice full show as well. I'll show you these daffodils. Now these daffodils have been planted for several years, but these are always some of the earliest in my garden to pop. So there they are, looking great. And these little miniature daffodils are just so stinking sweet. All right, let's move to the front yard and we'll look at some bulbs out there. All right, we're gonna start here at the gate on the front side. And if you remember from previous videos, we planted tulips. And so there are tulips coming in all through here. And the pansies that we planted in the fall are starting to come back as well. I recently planted up the wall baskets here just with yellow pansies and lettuce. Again, I needed something cool season and that would just bring some life to these containers on the wall. And then over here, same thing. We've got tulips popping up and the pansies are coming back. All right, sorry, I'm trying not to twirl the camera too fast. All right, here, ignore the weeds. I definitely need to weed this bed, but I've got tulips coming up. Tulips, tulips, tulips. So we've got tulips popping up there. Look at all the tulips popping up here. So just lots of tulips popping up. And then the tulips in these pots right here are already showing color. Look at that. All right, so here are our containers back at the front door, and you just saw the little bulb tour. So again, we still have lots of growth to do on our bulbs, but how bright and fresh do those containers look, which in turn makes the other containers look better. So now we're just waiting for our full bulb show, but I think that's gonna wrap up this video today. All right, guys, that's going to wrap up this video for today. I certainly hope you've enjoyed coming along with me for this quick little project of getting some fresh color into some empty pots and looking at the tulips and other bulbs coming up for this early spring little bulb tour. So stay tuned as the season progresses. I'll definitely come back with more updates on the tulips and the hyacinth bulbs. And then there's obviously lots more projects coming up as the season is barely just getting started. And like most gardeners, I'm sure you out there are getting super excited for the spring season. I know I am. So this videos like this just kind of feed my soul, and I hope that's what it's done for you, and I hope it's given you some inspiration and motivation to get out there and start tackling a few things with plants that are able to withstand the cooler temperatures that we still have on the forecast here for a few weeks. And then I hope that you're all geared up and getting ready for spring. If you have any questions or comments, leave those down below. I'll do my best to answer them for you. If you've enjoyed this video, give me a thumbs up. But until next time, from my garden to yours, I wish you all the best and happy gardening.